Hola amigos, Stuart here, and do you think you know how to pronounce Spanish city names correctly? Well, let's find out. Today I'm going to help you say some of the trickiest Spanish towns and cities correctly so that you don't embarrass yourself on your next trip here. Some of these might surprise you, so stick around to test yourself. Before we jump into the list, let's cover a few key pronunciation points in Spanish that will help you out. Now, the letter J in Spanish is pronounced like an English H, but a little bit stronger. For example, this word here is not Jerez, but Jerez. The letter Z here in Spain, especially on mainland Spain, is pronounced as a th sound, similar to the way that we would pronounce thin. Look at this word, Zamora, Zamora, not Zamora. Zamora. Words with a double L in them here in Spain are normally pronounced as a Y sound. For example, this word here is not paella, but paella. Paella. The letter C, when it comes before an E or an I, is pronounced th here on Spain, similar to the Z that we saw before, th like thin. For example, the word beer here in Spain is pronounced cerveza. Cerveza. The letter V here in Spain is pronounced like a soft B. For example, this word here is not pronounced vino, but vino. Vino. And when you see a word that starts with the letter R or contains two R's, you need to roll those R's. For example, the city of Rome in Spanish is not Roma, but Roma. And the word dog is not pronounced perro, but perro. So the R sound. Now, firstly, we'll look at Spain's capital city, Madrid, but here in Spain, the locals would say Madrid, 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 Madrid. And some people will even put a th sound on the end, Madrid. Next up is the popular city of Barcelona, as we would say in English, but here in Spain, the pronunciation would be Barcelona, Barcelona, Barcelona. Now, this is a tricky one. In English, we would say Zaragoza, but in Spanish, Zaragoza, Zaragoza, Zaragoza. Now, the popular city of Valencia, as we would say in English, but in Spanish, how would they pronounce it? Valencia, Valencia, Valencia. Now, this city is in northern Spain, and in English, we would say Valladolid, but in Spanish, Valladolid. Valladolid, Valladolid. Another city in the north of Spain, the English pronunciation would be Burgos, but here in Spain, it's Burgos, Burgos, Burgos. Now, this is a very popular city here in Spain. There's also a place in the United States with the same name. They would say Toledo, but here in Spain, Toledo, Toledo, Toledo. Another city in the north of Spain, in English we would say Leon, but in Spanish, León, León, León. Another popular tourist destination here in Spain, in English we would say Seville, but in Spanish, Sevilla, 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 Sevilla. Keeping in the south of Spain, and this is a well-known place for a popular beverage, sherry, in English we would say Jerez, but in Spanish, Jerez, Jerez, Jerez. Now, where I come from in Australia, there's a suburb with this same name. There people say Malaga, but here in Spain, Malaga, Malaga, Malaga. Don't forget to put the stress on the A. Now, this next city and province, also in the south of Spain, important to know where the stress in this word is. It's on the I, so it's Almeria, Almeria, Almeria. Now, here we get to roll our R's, and let's be honest, it's not easy to do for some, but let's practice. Ronda, Ronda, Ronda. Now, this place is where a lot of the olives are produced in Spain. In English, we would say Jaén, but of course that's not correct. In Spanish, the pronunciation is Jaén, Jaén, Jaén. Don't forget that H sound. Jaén. This place is a very popular tourist destination here in Spain, and if I had $1 for every time I've heard it pronounced incorrectly by a foreigner, I'd be a millionaire. Fuengirola is how an English speaker would pronounce this place, but in Spanish, Fuengirola, Fuengirola, Fuengirola. Now let's look at the two biggest cities in the autonomous community of Extremadura, starting with this one here. I've heard people pronounce this word as Cáceres, but the Spanish pronunciation is Cáceres. 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 You've got the hard C sound, K, which is similar in English, but you've also got the th sound in there as well. Cáceres. Now this is a tricky one. If you look at the word, you would think it's pronounced Badajoz, but that's not correct. In Spanish, you would pronounce this word as Badajoz. 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 Now, another place name here in Spain that very few foreigners seem to get right. Murcia is what I hear people saying all the time, but how would the Spanish pronounce this name? Well, Murcia. 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 Now let's head to the north of Spain and test our knowledge with some of the cities and towns in that part of the country. This city here is not pronounced Gijón. In Spanish, you would say Gijón. 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 This city is not Oviedo. In Spanish, you would say Oviedo. 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 This city is not pronounced Vigo. We saw a rule before, remember, that we have to pronounce it with a soft B. Bigo. 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 Now, let's have a look at some challenging small name towns here in Spain. How would you pronounce this word here? Aranjuez or something like that? Well, in Spanish, the pronunciation is Aranjuez. 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 What about this one? Well, in Spain, the pronunciation is Sigüenza. 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 What about this one? Most likely you would say Peñíscola or Peñíscola. But the Spanish pronunciation is Peñíscola. Peñíscola. What about this one here in the Canary Islands? I've heard a lot of people say Costa Teguise. Costa Teguise? How would you say it in Spanish? Costa Teguise. Costa Teguise. What about this one? Villajoyosa, or the Spanish pronunciation Villajoyosa. Villajoyosa. And finally, this small town in the province of Granada, difficult for a lot of people to pronounce correctly. Almuneca is what a lot of English people would say, but the correct pronunciation in Spanish is Almuñeca. 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 So now you have the correct pronunciation for those Spanish cities and towns. Let me know in the comment section how many of these you already knew how to pronounce correctly, and also let me know in that comment section which Spanish city and town names you have been mispronouncing the whole time. I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, thumbs down button if you didn't, and if you want to see more Spain related content, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you know every time I release a new video. Until the next one, hasta luego from Spain.